The writer of Hebrews said it this way: let us approach God's throne of grace with confidence. Why? Because of the death of Jesus Christ in our behalf, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. Friend, do you realize what you've got? Do you know what you've got? Do you realize that in Jesus you have somebody who has made the way for you to go directly to the mediation of Jesus Christ, to the God of the universe? Can you believe it? Can you believe that whatever is on your heart, whatever hardship you have, whatever sin you are struggling with, can you believe that you just go to the presence of God, the throne of grace, where you can find grace and mercy in your time of need? Do you know what you've got? Do you know that Jesus is the word that communicates the very message and the essence of God? Do you realize that he is the light that reveals the life of God? Do you realize that he is the tent, the tabernacle that establishes the dwelling of God and the access to God? Do you know what you've got? 2025 is 3 days away. What will you do with the reality of who Jesus is? Would you be willing to be someone who would let the light of Christ shine in your life? Are you willing to embrace these truths about who Jesus is for your own life? When the light of Jesus Christ, when the authentic Jesus is spoken into your hearing and your soul is exposed to the light of Christ and the life of Christ, you have one of two choices: either accept it or reject it. If you accept it, and you accept the forgiveness that Jesus offers, you're born of God. If you don't, you remain in your sin, you walk in darkness. Believe me, you don't want darkness. The Apostle Paul wrote that through Jesus, God rescued us from the dominion of darkness into this wonderful light of his Son, whom he loves, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. You want forgiveness. There is no sin too great. There is no act too heinous. There is no thought too corrupt that Jesus cannot forgive. Because the Apostle Paul later, or in another book, said this: where sin increased, grace increased all the more. Are you willing to let the light of Jesus Christ shine into your life, and are you willing to accept it for yourself? I would encourage you to get 2025 off to a good start. Text Jesus to our number. Someone will be able to meet with you or interact with you, text you, talk to you, and help you take the next steps that you want to take to discover who the authentic Jesus is and embrace the truths of him for yourself. For others of you, will you let the person of Christ lead your life? You know, one of the things you don't want to be the guy who doesn't know what he's got. Jesus is able to lead you to the full and abundant life that you are looking for. My encouragement to you is to learn more about who he is, embrace who he is, and surrender your life more and more to who he is. So I would encourage you from now until Easter to attend as we're going through this series and we're discovering who Jesus is from the book of John. Attend every Sunday. On top of that, there's supplementary reading that we are making available to you to augment that. Just text John to our number and you'll receive a reading plan. And that reading plan will coincide with what we are speaking about on Sunday morning. It's another way of enhancing and enriching your understanding about who Jesus is. The third is this: let the presence of Christ characterize your life. If you're a follower of Jesus Christ, you know how Jesus dwells in you now? Through the person of the Holy Spirit. And the job of the Holy Spirit is to testify about the Father and the Son, to bring out the characteristics of who God is through your life. And do you realize, as a follower of Jesus Christ, you usher that into every relationship, every interaction, every situation that you are in? Are you willing to allow the Spirit of God to affect your speech, so your speech is full Conversation is full of grace and seasoned with salt. Are you willing to allow the fruit of your life to come out to bear love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and faithfulness and gentleness and self-control? All those things that seem to be absent in our culture. Are you willing to usher that in to all of your relationships and all of your interactions? Which of these will you choose in 2025? Will you let the light of Christ shine in your life? Will you let the person of Christ lead your life? Will you let the presence of Christ characterize your life? Because where the presence of Christ is, the glory of Christ is revealed.